Welcome to the Flipping and Wholesaling Houses in New York show. I am Michael Pinter, where I teach you how to start flipping and wholesaling houses, or if you're already doing it, how to grow your business. Now, this is a question that I got a couple of days ago, and I have been struggling because I didn't really want to answer it. But I'm going to answer it because I answer everything. And it's straight up, how has wholesaling or flipping personally changed your life? That's what he asked. So I avoided the question because because I really don't want to sound like an asshole. I don't want to sound like I'm bragging, and I think a lot of people come on their YouTube channel or on social media and they show slow motion pictures of them exiting their Ferrari or getting onto a private jet, and I hate that. Right, and I never want to be that guy, that shithead who is telling you, look how much money I have, because I'm not. It just doesn't work with who I am, and B, because half of those guys in a few years are not in the same boat. So I'm not talking about money, right? Obviously, it's made me money. I'm going to talk about time freedom, and something that very few people speak about, and it's because I would say 99% of the human population, certainly the American population, probably more outside of the United States, believes in this idea that they're going to get a job for 20, 30, 40 years. They're going to stay in a career. They may not stay in the same place, but they're going to stay in a career for 30 or 40 years, really the best 30 or 40 years of your life. And then they're going to retire, right? And I remember reading, I'm a big Tim Ferriss fan, so he wrote the 4-hour work week, the 4-hour body, 4-hour everything. I don't know. I have all his books. I don't know what the hell they're. 4-hour body. And he wrote, like, such a stupid idea. And it really is, if you think about it, right? The idea, what the hell is this cord doing here? The idea that I'm going to give up the best years of my life to a career or job that I don't like in the hope that I can save up, or maybe I'll work in an industry that has a pension that'll be automatically saved up for me, so that I can stop doing what I didn't like when I'm in my 60s or 70s, is so messed up to me, right? So, like, the idea of retirement is absurd to me, right? I love what I do, and I plan to do what I do in some fashion, right? Maybe not exactly the same way, but I plan to do this till the day I drop dead. Why would I stop doing it early? Because I want this concept of retirement? I know so many people go into retirement and can't stand their life after that. So, to me, success is really defined by time freedom. Now, let me explain. I live in an affluent neighborhood, and there are doctors and lawyers and other professionals in that neighborhood who make more money than me, right? Partners in big law firms, big, fancy surgeons, and I don't envy them for a second. Because if you're a doctor and you can't work, you're not earning any income, right? Now, maybe if you own a practice and you rent space to other people, that's separate. But if you're an attorney and you're not working, you're not making any money. And when you leave that profession, you may leave with a big chunk of cash, right? You maybe have $20 million bank. That's great. But you're not making any money anymore. So I define success as time freedom, which means that I can do what I want, when I want, with who I want for as long as I want. So what does that mean? My daughter, not last December, December before, had my first grandchild. And she lives in California. And I spent 7 weeks there. I didn't have to ask anybody permission to go. And I went. And I'm planning a vacation now for the end of this month, beginning of September. And I'm not asking anybody permission. That's a big deal to me, right? I worked for the same company for 17 years. And I worked for other companies beforehand. And I remember thinking about going on vacation and asking them if it works. And I don't like that, right? Maybe I'm spoiled now because I've been working for myself for so long. But when you get into wholesaling or flipping houses, you are going to be your own boss, right? Unless you're working for somebody. And even then, if he's not a jerk, he can let you do what you want. But as long as you're getting results. Being your own boss means you have control over your time. It's a big, big, big deal to me. And it changed my life, knowing that I can do what I want, when I want. Now, there's another edge to that coin of being self-employed, that sometimes, cash flow issues come up, right? A deal's about to close and then it falls apart. A deal closes and you think you're going to make X and you make Y, you make less than X, and then you're worried, well, am I going to have enough money projecting forward over the next month or two. And that is worry that comes up. Now, I tell this a lot, but I've woken up in the middle of the night once over a property that I bought that I thought I screwed up. It's a property in Riverhead. I forgot the address, but it looked like a trailer. It wasn't a mobile home, but it was in an area where there were mobile homes. And when I asked the guy, it was a modular home, and I asked a friend in the modular home business, "Is this? What can I do to make this look better?" Because I was having trouble with it, and he's like, "That doesn't look like a modular home. That looks like a double wide trailer." And so that one night, I woke up having a heart attack. Later, realizing that I had a regular deed, and it couldn't have been a manufactured home. But I sleep well at night. But there is worry involved, right? A key employee leaves, somebody steals a deal from you, a seller that gets upset at you. Certainly is a inverse relationship between responsibility and freedom, right? No, I'm sorry, it's a direct relationship. The more responsibility you have, the more freedom you have. So there are times when things get hairy, right? And that's going to happen in your business, right? I still believe my business is not at a point where I can hire a COO and let somebody else do it. Now, hopefully I get to that point, and then I can spend less time in the business. Ideally, I'd want to spend an hour or two on the business every day. Right now, I spend a lot more than that. But I'm trying to grow the business to get there. But the fact that I have the freedom to spend my time the way I want to is, to me, one of the greatest benefits. And I tell people all the time, if you want to get into this business and you're making, let's say, $80,000, $100,000 a year, you can absolutely buy 2 wholesale deals from me or any other wholesaler and make 50 grand on each of them. Now, maybe you'll end up short. Maybe you'll end up making 40. Maybe one of them you make 70. But you can replace that income just rehabbing 2 houses a year, which I think almost anybody can do. Now, is there risk? You bet your ass there's some risk, right? I had rehabs that I thought I was going to make 100, end up making no money. So that would suck, but it's almost a sure thing to make some money on a lot of these rehabs if you're buying them right. Now, obviously, we're in a weird place now where the market's shifting, but I don't think the market's shifting that much. So we're in a situation where I believe that if you can get rid of your job, right? And people think this job's so secure and it's great. I got a paycheck twice a month. You can lose your job tomorrow, right? Unless you're a tenured professor in a college. So, what I saw. Let me tell you what I saw in 2008, which was pretty amazing. I had friends who really made a very good living working for Bear Stearns or for Lehman Brothers, and in the course of 2 months, through no fault of theirs, they had lost their jobs. A lot of them had lost their retirement savings, and everything changed for them. And I would say that those people in 2007 thought they had the most secure situation ever, right? They had tons of stock, company stock sitting, and all of it turned to crap. So I don't believe in job security, right? Being in control of your own destiny, to me, is much more important. So that's the biggest change that wholesaling and flipping houses has done to me, that I can really wake up when I want and decide what to do what I want, which I think there are plenty of people who make more money than me that don't have that luxury. To me, it changes everything. So if you told me, hey, I want to replace my job with X income, I could probably help you do it in a way that with very little risk, and you would have the same time freedom. So I think that's a big deal. I think it's something people don't talk about. They don't talk about time freedom. The reason why people don't talk about time freedom is because most entrepreneurs work their ass off even harder than people who are working jobs, right? If you're working a job and 5 o'clock whistle blows, you get the F out of there right away. If you're, it's 5 o'clock right now, this second, and I'm not leaving for a while. I got a lot of work to do. So most entrepreneurs work harder, but I do it because I choose to, not because someone tells me I have to. To me, that's a huge difference. And I understand that to some people, it's not worth it. For a lot of people, they'd rather be told what to do for the apparent security of getting a paycheck twice a month or every 2 weeks. To me, it's not the same thing. So that's the main way it's changed my life, giving me the time freedom to spend on the things that I want to do, to go on vacation when I want, to see my daughter is now pregnant with a second grandchild, and she's due around Thanksgiving, around November, and I plan to go to California again for 6 to 8 weeks. Right, I bought a ticket to go, and I don't have a ticket to come back. Right, I got to find an Airbnb, I got to find rent a car, a little bit of a pain in the ass, but to me, that's just freedom you don't get from a job. So that's the biggest change it's had in my life. Obviously, it's made me money. Obviously, I'm happy with the money it's made. One of the biggest things it's done is allowed me to help people and teach other people, right? So through coaching, right, I have a great student who's doing his fourth deal right now. And in probably a year, a little over a year, this guy is going to make, $120,000. Dropped out of college to do it. An amazing success story. I had another student, did 2 deals, made 70 grand in about a year, while she was working another job. You can do this part-time. So I get tremendous satisfaction in that. Tremendous. Giving somebody their first check, they almost can't believe it. They almost can't believe it's going to clear, right? Giving somebody a check for the first time for $30,000 or $40,000. A lot of people thought they'd never see a check like that. So that makes me very happy. I hope this was helpful in some way. It was a tough question for me to ask. I don't want to say, hey, I can go buy a Rolex, that kind of thing. And to me, or I go fly private. To me, it was stupid, right? I don't like doing that. So I hope this was helpful. If you're interested in all the ways I can help you, go to howtoflipnewyork.com. If you're interested in finding more about one-on-one coaching, go to coaching.howtoflipnewyork.com. I also offer a course. You can go to howtoflipnewyorkcourse.com. Although I think I'm changing that up. And if you are interested I'm going off on a tangent. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. If you're watching on any media channel, please click the thumbs up. And I post 5 times a week. I got to post an extra time this week because I didn't post on Monday, I think. So please keep the comments coming. You don't have to ask a comment about the video you're watching. It can be about anything you want to ask. I try to get back to comments within a day or two. And if it's a simple reply, a simple answer, I'll just reply with an answer. If it's something I've covered recently, I will send a link to video. I sent somebody 2 videos today on what contract you use. All right, so, whatever. I don't want to get into that now. And if something new, I'll do a new video on it. So I really appreciate everyone watching and everyone liking the videos. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate all of my viewers. Thank you.